Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Minnesota Vikings franchise rebuild on Madden 23. As you can tell here, our season isn't exactly going great, so a lot of the attention in this episode will be spent talking about the NFL draft. I think we'll do 2 more episodes this season, at least 2, and we are going to focus today on the offensive side of the football and talk about all those players at a variety of positions. If we check out the newest mock draft, they have us taking Richard Hudick? I'm not even sure. I've never seen this name before. But so far, it does seem like he could be the best quarterback in this class. And that's going to be something for us to address in the offseason, finding our next quarterback. Let's just call him Rick for now. We got Rick here, marginal to decent speed. And he can throw on the run. He can throw it pretty accurately. He does have some ability as a runner, but it doesn't seem like, although he has scrambling archetype, it's hard to see him being like a Brian Petrovsky level scrambler. I just don't think he's that kind of an athlete. Solid to good throw power, puts him in the average category there. About 90 is what I would bank on. Anything less and I'd be a little underwhelmed. But I think right now he is my favorite quarterback in this class. He's mocked to go to us at 3. But we have 2 first-round picks, and our second one, they are projecting us to pick later and double up at quarterback to make sure we get it right. I don't think that'll be happening. But it does give us a chance later on, whenever that pick may be, to hopefully go and get a difference maker on either side of the football. But like I said, we'll focus on the offensive side today. Defense in the next video. National focus. So I feel like I know a lot about the quarterbacks, and it makes the most sense probably to get information elsewhere, but I want as much information as I can get on these quarterbacks. And I think I've screwed this up in both of my series here. I don't have my 3-star as the national scout. I have gone through and assigned my scouts, but I forgot to pick like what region they're focused on, I guess. I don't know how I forgot about that in both series, but we are here to set the focus at least, and we do want to go quarterback. And any quarterback that I will take in the first round, I'll probably make a focus player as well so we can know their talent level at the same time. There was some good feedback on the last episode in regards to the trading of veterans. We can't even call it a fire sale. I haven't traded that many. Garrett Bradbury has been traded. Zadarius Smith in the offseason. We have traded Eric Kendricks. But now, we're left here with veterans like Harrison Smith and Danielle Hunter. And the more I think about it, the more I'll explore a trade in the offseason for Hunter. Because I think that's the ideal time to try and go get a player, not a pick in return. So right now we have all the picks I think we need for this upcoming class. But I want to see in the offseason, how's free agency look? Can we fill some needs there? If not, can we use Danielle Hunter to fill a need, even if it's not like the youngest player, is what I'm saying here. So it's hard to see us not making a trade in the offseason unless free agency sets up perfectly for us. I do want to make a couple changes here to the starting lineup, actually. So we have seen Steve Ventura start or play a lot, but I think, he hasn't done a whole lot to this point. What about Tyronn Blue? He was drafted very close to him, and Ventura hasn't done a whole lot, so let's give Blue a chance. And we can actually have both kind of playing if I have Ventura start and then it's Blue as the edge rusher here. The depth chart changing by the CPU, by the way, it is even worse this year. They are constantly shuffling players around here. You have to really stay on top of it. Like, come on, why are you doing this? So we do beat the Bears to start this episode, and do rather convincingly, 38-21. Kirk has 4 touchdowns. We intercept Justin Fields 3 times. Kind of a sloppy game there with a lot of takeaways. But here is perhaps a new dynamic duo in Minnesota being formed between Justin Jefferson and Quan Alexander. It seems like the rookie is coming on strong this year, and I am really excited about that. We need something positive to take into next year. Deron Payne picks up 2 sacks, but you're going to see us give up a lot. We have 2 rookies starting now in the interior, and we're not strong there to begin with. Top 3 corners all get interceptions, so we at least beat the Bears, which is always nice. We have an injury coming out of that game, however, and this time it's going to be KJ Osborne. No, he was already hurt. That's right. Steve Ventura's hurt. So I think that means even more snaps now for the rookie Tyron Blue. One of the players getting more playing time right now with Ezra Cleveland out, it is Ben Dodson, one of the rookie guards we have. So a lot of rookies playing, a lot of growing pains, but maybe there'll be a nice payoff in the end. Dodson was drafted in the 5th round. And suddenly we have our first winning streak of the year. We did so in this game, winning by 18 with 258 yards of offense. There has to be a defensive score or 2 in here. Howie Thompson, #1 pick of the Lions. 3 interceptions. Did not have a good game against us. Shockingly. Irv Smith and Jefferson find the end zone, but a quiet day offensively. Brandon Beasley didn't have a huge game against us, so he's got the day 1 starter. I wonder how that's handled when they have Hawkinson. I mean, Hawkinson's clearly playing, but that's interesting. On defense, a sack for Payne, a sack for Ballard, and picks go to Harrison Smith, Dantzler, and Benjamin St. Just finding some playing time. And no defensive touchdowns. How about special teams? I guess we did it with very little yardage. Yeah, we had 2 rushing, 2 passing touchdowns. Spending some talent points now. I know we were trying to get down to the weight room upgrade here, but I'm not able to do it quite yet. I know one thing I'll want to do. You know what? This one here is only 30. Upgrade that run block power. But I definitely want to be able to get down to here in due time for the next quarterback that we have. So maybe just a good idea to start working our way there. We'll want that quarterback boost for next year when we have a rookie inevitably. But now we have 2 straight victories and are running into the 7-1 Raiders on the road. The winning streak has to end here, right? No, it doesn't. 24-17, the Vikings all of a sudden playing their best football of the season. Dalvin, 71 yards, 1 touchdown. Javonte Adams scored. Quan Alexander scored and actually led us this time. So he's really having a good rookie season. I was not high on this receiver class. I managed to find the one that could make a difference for us. So here are the Vikings. You know, they're not going to go away quietly here. Like, I've seen them go 3-13 once and pick early when they selected Matt Khalil. But I mean, that's not typical of the Vikings. So we're 4-6 now. Kansas City is next. If we win this game, you're all of a sudden talking about us becoming one of those teams on the bottom of the graphic where it says in the hunt. So we have some things to take care of first. And we have our focus players. So we kind of already know we're spending these on quarterbacks. So, whoa. We already have 100% talent. Round 2 to 3. Round 2 to 3. Jeff Farley has him beat. I think we're going to have to fully scout like all these first rounders. So we know after seeing the last offseason that round 2 to 3 talent doesn't mean like an unstartable backup. It could mean low 70. It could also mean high 60. But there is a range there, and that's as specific as it's going to get. Unless you get a guy's talent to say top 5, you are not given a very full picture of their abilities. So, Carl Kiernan becomes an option. He looks like, you know, good medium, good short, good under pressure, but he has that bad pressure trait that worries me. But is it still good to know what his talent level is? I don't know. I think that You know, he's just a decent quarterback option for throwing it short, doesn't handle pressure well. Does that sound like a guy who has the highest ceiling? To me, especially when you factor in lack of mobility, I just don't think Carl Kiernan is on our board. Jeff Farley is next, and he is actually a round 1 to 2 talent, so he's going to have a higher overall than the other two that might go top 5. Now, I wonder in the next mock draft if we see them slide a bit, or if they just stay high. Great to elite throw power, poor to marginal speed. Farley is a traditional pocket passer, and he is able to throw it downfield effectively, but the short stuff gives him issues. He's also less of an injury risk than some of these other quarterbacks. You got to consider the other guys now in this range. Christian Evans. Thankfully, there are a lot of choices. He's got the same, build as Brian Petrovsky. He does have the good to great speed. And he could use some improvement at recognizing pressure. So, it's not the ideal trait there. But it's not the worst blend of traits there I've seen. However, what I am concerned about is C short, C throw on the run, C under pressure. Those are all things that will really frustrate us. And he's a bit of an injury risk while being a guy who likes to run. So, you don't have these just great prospects overall. They all have some serious knocks in their game. Glenn Byron. Have we even talked about Glenn Byron? So, gets rid of the ball at the first sign of pressure. I don't like how that tends to play out. Not a trait that I'm happy about here. But skill-wise, definitely not bad. And then finally, Jason McLeod out of Alabama. Strong arm. And he's got the downfield abilities, not so much on the short. Happy feet and feels non-existent pressure. In this game, I just don't think that's compatible. So, out of all the quarterbacks here, it's gotten more difficult now to pick one guy. We didn't talk about Kyle Palmer from Alcorn State, but he's a day 3 guy. So I just don't think you're going to find a starter down there. Maybe it's possible in this game, but I don't think he's it. I think I'm still somewhat interested here in Christian Evans, but no, he is a pretty risky prospect, especially early in his career. I think if I'm ever willing to take a guy who seems as risky as he is, I need to get as much info as possible. And then you have Byron, and I think he would maybe be one of my top guys if it weren't for that gets rid of the ball at the first sign of pressure. So, there's still a lot to work with, though, is the thing. So I think I'm going to end up scouting both of them. This is our year to go get a quarterback. Let's scout him and Evans fully, and that means we're going to have 5 quarterbacks at 100%. I think I'll make right guard here. This is J.D. McGraw. He might be our extra focus player here. Want to see a more specific range on some of these because he looks like a potential day 1 starter as a day 2 pick. It's interesting here. The more information that we get, the trickier this entire situation seems to be. We will go through these players more fully toward the end of the episode. I continue to sim because we'll have more and more information as we go on. Now, let's see how tough it's going to be to work out a deal here with KJ Hamler. And I want to start out with the baseline offer, but that's not going to work on the first try. Ezra Cleveland looking for a 1-year deal. I thought about going multi-year here. We know Boyce is hopefully a longer-term starter. But if we get Cleveland on a 2-year deal, I think that's pretty good. The issue is going to be his interest. We don't have the franchise quarterback. We don't have the winning Super Bowl chase. So we're just not a great fit for him. And that's still not going to do it. That was 2 years, $8 million. Oh, wow. DJ Wanham. 74 overall. 4 years, 22 is the expectation. Yeah, that's not going to be compatible with us. Maybe players are asking for more money at some spots, depending on their rating. That's a pretty high ask, but Justin Hollins at right outside linebacker isn't looking for that. I think left is considered the pass rusher, and so he wants like a lot more money. It's just a weird thing they have here in the contracts. Like, I'm okay with him asking for that, but it should be a lot more consistent across the board. And I think Ezra Cleveland should ask for a lot more. Like an average starting guard, come on, that's got to be at least $7 to $8 million a year. The market is totally in the lineman's favor there. There aren't enough. We got our prospect spotlight storyline as well, and they want us to take a look at middle linebacker Geo Blades. So we know he's got a name value here, like terrific name, but how about football playing ability? Who else remembers HB Blades? I don't even remember what position he played. I think I remember him playing special teams for Washington. I think he might have been a linebacker or something. What did the HB Blades play? We got Geo Blades here, though. Oof. C to F. A couple of those don't look promising. He's a field general. Good size. Physical player. Bone-crushing hits. But if there's something here, I'm not really seeing it with this profile. But maybe, you know, just because he's got the prospect spotlight, he gets a spot on the board. And every upgrade here is going to help us out. Let's get Brian Asamoah to a scheme fit 70 overall. That's positive. He's getting a lot of playing time right now. The same is true for Keyshawn Oldham. And I believe now his development should be revealed. Could this be a superstar situation? We just got him to a 75. Nice coverage ability. Ability slot, so it is going to be a superstar. That's what I'm talking about. So that was one of our better picks. We got to rebuild this defense, find some difference makers. He's racking up tackles. Maybe defensive rookie of the year is possible. Not bad for the second round pick. Yeah, that's got to be the worst ability in the whole game. Fatigue? Come on, this game doesn't even care about fatigue. But all the good abilities are unlocked later. Alright, let's get back to the games now. We are 4-6 suddenly, and so are the Kansas City Chiefs, who are hoping to end our winning streak. And the Chiefs are able to defeat us. Close game, but now we're 4-7 on the year. Cousins, no touchdowns, no interceptions. CEH, 71 yards, 1 score. They have Perry Grimes here. He's got some good tags as a rookie running back. And Kendrick Bourne ran 5 times. Okay, that's cool. Travis Kelce, big day for him. Thielen led us in receiving. So we've had a different receiving leader like every game today. Rough day, though, against this defensive line. So the offensive line is struggling, and hopefully it doesn't take forever for us to start making a difference there. Saw David Osborne also missed a couple field goals. So the rookies did not have their best game. Next up, we get the Saints, and we win by multiple scores, 34-20. So we've won 4 of 5. Kirk Cousins might have had his best game of the season with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. Dalvin's getting his, 70-some yards a game, and Jefferson scores 3 times. Alexander is there. Like, I know you want us to tank for draft positioning, but Justin Jefferson's just too good. Quan Alexander is just too good. So an interesting ride here. We've had a 3-game losing streak twice, a 3-game winning streak, and we'll see what's, left for us here last 5 games of the season. But now you're not so sure about us picking top 5. You don't expect the playoffs or anything, but it's a possibility. A new injury coming out of that game. Please don't be a rookie. And it's Christian Darrisaw. That's not good either. Who wants to see another backup offensive lineman start? Vidarian Lowe. It's your time to start at left tackle, it looks like. Ezra Cleveland is back, though, so that is really nice to see. Actually, what we could do here is play Dodson at guard. Cleveland, he played some left tackle, if I'm not mistaken, at Boise State. So let's see if he can do it here in the NFL. A very late season bye week here for Minnesota. And I think we're going to go with the stay grinding mentality here. Everybody gets 500 XP. We take on the 3-9 Atlanta Falcons this week, and I actually want to watch some of this one and get a deeper look at some of our players, but we're 5-7, probably favored to win in this game, so could be an interesting end of the year is all I'm gonna say. Doesn't seem like anybody's fatigue is out of hand because I've been splitting so many of the practice reps to spread out the XP. Let's go full starters here for right end, and then, you know, we have so many linebackers, but now I think you can focus on the starters because Kendricks isn't there any longer. Basically, anywhere where there is a rookie starter, they should get all the reps they can handle. How is our first round pick done this year? Let's upgrade Josh Ballard and go for that pass rushing. That's the number one thing here. We got to get to the quarterback more often, and he's one of our third down interior rushers. He did get that star dev last episode because we held whoever we played against to exactly 100 yards rushing. So we really got a cheap upgrade out of it. But I think we'll take it. 10 tackles for loss. That's pretty good. A sack and a half. These are not numbers that'll put him in line for a Rookie of the Year spot, but at least he's making strides, and we got lucky. So we'll play the birds here, and then we'll go ahead and do scouting stuff at the end of the video. We'll go through every offensive position today. So it might be a big video, but I think we can finally spend some more time on the draft in this series and get something out of it. I've actually really enjoyed it. I was wondering if maybe they'd be giving us too much information, but unless you scout a player who's a top 5 talent, you're not going to know about the talent level. And I think that there's still some mystery to the scouting reports at times. So, you know, this is the Madden style of scouting. It's not the scouting, you know, if I were building this from the ground up, the type of scouting I would go with. I prefer something like Head Coach 09. But as far as Madden scouting goes, I think they're making this system much better. And we got to the quarterback here. I forget who's even starting for them. I think it's Desmond Ridder. So on their opening drive, it's 3rd down and 20. Ritter's going deep, and this one is incomplete. Nice coverage, Lewis Seen. Remember, a win today puts us at 6-7. So we'll take over. A little play action to get us started, and wide open is Adam Thielen for the first down. Cook to the right side, and he will take it up to the 42-yard line. I still have to make adjustments to the game plan. I think that's more important for year 3, but forgot to do it before this video. Cook makes the catch now. Definitely want to smooth out some of the run-pass stuff, and in a lot of these game plans, some of their situations aren't all that creative. But here we get Alexander involved, and he's done a great job. Yeah, I want to tuck in those sleeves there. He's got kind of the whole Sam Bradford sleeve look going on, and we want to take care of that. Cousins on first down. On the outside, it's caught by Adam Thielen. Hey, we got a sub. Kene Nwangwu's in there. I can take a look at the auto subs as well. It seems like you get more of the substitutions later in the season when players are dealing with more fatigue. He's actually in there for back-to-back plays right now. Just something to keep an eye on. If it's broken right now, at least it's not the worst time for it to be that way. Jefferson, what a move! Touchdown, Minnesota! We maybe use this formation a bit too much, but here, Justin Jefferson makes a play, and we have the lead. It was a good time for it. There's a defender on the ground. Like, that's always nice for us. They're basically playing 10 on 11 there. What happened? How'd he end up on the ground here? Oh, he goes to drop back in coverage. His own guy takes him out. That's pretty much Falcons defense, though, the last decade. The defense for Atlanta has been bad for so long, it just feels like it can't be good. Like, yeah, you got A.J. Terrell. Yeah, you got Grady Jarrett. Yeah, you got Deion Jones. Still bad defense. 7-0 Minnesota. Desmond Ridder. He gets Ridder it. Quick pass off the mark. 0 of 3 start for Ridder. And it's 3rd and 10. Where's Kyle Pitts? All right, in line. That's where we want him to be. Blocking. He releases to the outside, out of bounds. And Ridder has just not been sharp enough. And the Falcons go 3 and out. Those last 2 throws were thrown to Allen Lazard. It's not the Julio Jones offense anymore, is it? Dumped off now. This is Irv Smith. Vikings facing 3rd down and a full yard to go. It's Dalvin Cook. Oh, on the second effort, he got it. Cousins back to the air with a new set of downs. Wide open, Thielen again. Might want to cover Adam Thielen. They haven't done it yet. Here is Dalvin Cook. He pops it out to the right side and picks up 6. Fake to Dalvin on 2nd down, and wide open is James Russell. Kirk Cousins, 8 for 8. They just can't throw him off his rhythm. And the Falcons, man, it feels like they've been trying to build up this pass rush ever since, like, they lost, John Abraham and some of those other guys back, a decade ago. Inside now, good run. We have so many replacements in here along the line. It's been shuffled so many times. Like, I can't believe how well we're holding up right now. Check out that pocket. Wide open Irv Smith. Jefferson. He's going nowhere. They were ready for it. 3rd and goal, Kirk Cousins. He's blitzed and finds Smith, but he won't get in. We will take the 10-0 start here. Falcons get it back. Looks like they're starting to move the ball suddenly. We'll do some simming now. No need to spend all day in this game. Want to fit a bunch of stuff into this episode. And I hope you're enjoying it. Please drop a like if you are, and let me know what you're thinking of the series down below. 3rd and 11, they only get 7 and kick the field goal. The offense has simmed well lately. All the games we went for today. And then this game, they get into scoring range. Osborne makes it a 10-point game again. Okay, it's 13-3. Let's jump in here. We're late first half now, and the Falcons are down 10. Desmond Ridder trying to get them their first touchdown of the ball game. And Oldham's there, and we get the running back on the ground. That is Gus Edwards. Ridder on a quarterback draw goes nowhere. And unfortunately, those plays don't result in sacks, even on tackles for loss like that was. 3rd and 11. Ridder completes it, but they will not get the first down. It's a 7-point game. Let's see what Kirk Cousins can do in the 2-minute drill. Don't love the formation choice to start out. I'll definitely have to look at that 2-minute drill game plan. If you get into the playbook editing, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Now, if you don't play the game this way, it's not important, but there are so many things you can customize. As Cousins sails, and I can't believe that wasn't picked off. But I get asked sometimes about, coach mode, because I'd be able to call plays and still watch it all play out. Cousins completes it to Thielen, his favorite target today, first down. I actually prefer this, because look how fast we get to the next play. The pace of play is really nice. Dumped off to Jefferson, and not much room there. But if I edit the game plan, it's like creating a play-calling AI with all my inputs. I have control over what plays are called in a variety of situations, and if I set that up well enough, I don't feel like I need coach mode. And plus, I kind of like the surprise of what the play is going to be. If I set up the game plan, I have a rough idea, but I just enjoy it for the style of content here, the speed, and the fact that I don't know the play. So, you know, it just helps me feel, and I think create more of that GM experience for this series. That's really the highlight. The team building, and then making the ratings matter by watching the games, and having it have that even playing field between the user and the CPU. Caught by Smith. We're not really getting a lot of big plays here, but I guess we're getting close to a potential field goal try. This is an important play, though. 3rd down. Cousins dumps it. That should be a first. And now we get the luxury of a 54-yard field goal from David Osborne. Osborne's kick is a low line drive, and it comes up short. That was kind of ugly. It feels like we're dominating this game, but it's only a 7-point contest. I think we sim like the 3rd quarter here and maybe jump into the 4th. Have a nice condensed game for this episode. 13-6 Minnesota. We're just chipping away. Cook. Wong-Woo. And then, you know, we throw it. It doesn't work. We do make a field goal, though. 16-6. We are not letting Ritter complete many passes, though. He's not able to get into a rhythm, and the pass is intercepted by Harrison Smith. Quan Alexander gets 21, followed by 11. And on 2nd and goal, we don't get in. But we do with KJ Hamler. So we've created this nice lead. And what are we doing here? Falcons trying to keep in this game. And they do drive down the field again inside the 10. And to end the 3rd quarter, a Gus Edwards touchdown makes it a 10-point contest. So I think our focus here will be on the Falcons offense. And they're about to take the field. Ritter. Quick throw across the middle, and it's Drake London. Ritter 16 of 26 in the air. And he'll be throwing a lot here down the stretch, trying to keep the Falcons in this. Up the seam now, and complete. 1st down. So they've brought in Alan Lazard, Jacoby Myers, alongside Pitts and London. Floated, and London goes up for it. What a leaping catch. That was hilarious. That was incredible. 1st and 10. Ritter downfield, and that one is too far. One of the things, too, that we can do is kind of scout these quarterbacks by watching them and then going back to the traits to see, oh, we like that or we don't. On the ground and picked up by Lewis Seen. The pressure got there again. 5.5 tackles. How is that possible? Who was it? Was that Daniil? Because he's had a heck of a day. Daniil Hunter with a sack fumble. Short field now for the Vikings. Irv Smith is slot right on 1st down as we go to Dalvin Cook. Good 2nd level blocking. Gain of 6. Cousins back to pass. Caught. Irv Smith very close to an interception, but Kirk's gotten away with some today. Imagine that. Luck isn't on the side of the Falcons. 3rd and inches now. Dalvin Cook left side. On the outside, Jefferson makes the catch, and the Vikings have it in the red zone again. Kirk on 1st and 10. Is he going to run? There goes Cousins all the way to the 5. That's something I haven't really seen before. 2nd down now. Cook in the backfield. Now he gets to run it. But he's no Kirk Cousins. No gain. Kene Wong-Woo checks in on 3rd and 1. Heading to the air. Jefferson! Time to gritty. Touchdown, Minnesota. I think this one could be over. Good game today from Kirk Cousins. We didn't see him under much pressure. We've won that battle up front. No argument there. And we're up 17. I think we're done here. Minnesota has won again and make it 5 of 6 in this episode. Here we are to make it interesting. 6 and 7. Who's hyped up to get back to 500? 37-20 is your final, and Cousins has another 4-touchdown, 0-pick game. He's had 2 of those today. Dalvin Cook, again, something in the 70s. No touchdowns. Pitts, he got some production. It seemed mostly in the simulating, but it wasn't enough to hurt us, as we win rather easily. 2.5 sacks for Hunter, 1.5 for Josh Ballard. Great stuff there. Had a couple takeaways. 6 and 7. Not what I expected in this episode. I think we are officially in the hunt. You have to include us now on the bottom of that graphic. So, what does it take here in the NFC from a wild card standpoint? Rams lead one division. Packers, Giants lead others. So you have the Cowboys who would be fighting for a wild card. 49ers fighting for a wild card. Eagles fighting for a wild card. Panthers would be leading the South. So that puts us with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, who must have been on their bye. So, if we keep winning, we might find ourselves back in. And, what do we have next? Just a really important head-to-head against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And a win would give us the edge over them for a playoff spot. How about that for a storyline next episode? We have to watch that game now. You know that, right? We have to. So the Eagles right now would be the 7 seed. That's an easier way to look at it there. I forgot about that. So, can we top Philadelphia becomes the question. They're 8 and 5. That makes this more of a long shot. But long shot is better than no shot. So, that's where we are. 6 and 7. If the season ended today and we missed the playoffs, which is the most likely outcome, why am I even in here? I want to be here. We would be selecting 16th, give or take, because of all the tied teams here. Potentially 12th. The Buccaneers, obviously, we have their first round pick, but they're not going to be picking top 5 either, it looks like. So, if there are quarterback needy teams in front of us, that'll make the draft interesting, and the next mock draft, I think, will be really nice to see. But to close out this episode here, let's wrap it up with the stats, and then we'll go into the draft to really get the episode ended. 27 touchdowns for Kirk Cousins to 8 interceptions. The stats are immaculate. Well, they're good. Dalvin, 806 yards and 6 touchdowns. It's hard to do much more than that without an elite offensive line. Justin Jefferson and Quan Alexander each have 9 touchdowns, and Alexander is emerging as the team's new number 2 wide receiver. He's had very consistent production, and I'm very excited about him. Along the offensive line, the tackles are giving up a lot of pressure, it seems, just kind of how Madden is. Defensively, we have some takeaways in this secondary. And then for the sacks, it's not great. Certainly bad. David Osborne, he's still learning. 13 of 18. He does only have 89 kick power. We saw maybe some of his limitations today. But, we're going to trust him for now. But let's get to the NFL draft now. And we've already spent today talking about the quarterbacks, but we still need to see these final grades on some of these players. So we got 100% now on Christian Evans and Glenn Byron, and I think they are out of the starting contention. Evans, while intriguing, has day 3 talent, and I think he'd be a great pickup for a different team, but probably not us. Byron, 3rd to 4th round talent, so that's better than day 3. But it's probably not starting caliber right away. But if you were to be in a position, like the RG3 Kirk Cousins draft for Washington, you take one in the 1st, one in the 4th. That's where this starts to make some sense. But if he's projected earlier, you can easily see Byron going like early 3 even. So what does this mean for us at quarterback? I think it's down to 3 players. And Jeff Farley is the highest talent grade here at the position, it seems. But do we still think this is the best skill set? I mean, accuracy-wise, it seems that way. Under pressure, throw on the run, awareness. I think I still like our pal Rick here. And does that mean maybe that our highest first-round pick isn't even spent on a quarterback? We now have an example with Enriquez, round 2 to 3 talent, going top of the second round. But, you know, there's more safety taking a player in the first. 5th-year option is also there. So is that the direction we are headed? If the mock drafts, though, continue to show quarterbacks going earlier, we can't count on that. If they're saying a player goes in the first round, we have to trust it. You know, I think this is still how I would rank the quarterbacks here. So you got Farley here with B awareness, B deep, B medium accuracy, B under pressure. Not going to throw on the run, but also just doesn't like throw it short as reliably as you would like. And then Blake Wakefield, better short and medium, not as good deep. An injury risk, can throw a bit under pressure. It's hard for me to decide who is 2, but I still think this is how I would rank it. I love some quarterback takes in the comment section. Moving to running back, I do think there's a lot to like here with Brian Harris. He is 5'11", 195. Combine, though, doesn't look terrific. He's not an early round prospect, though. Not a first round prospect. B break tackle, B vision, should be able to catch the football and has some kick return skill. I think he's firmly like a 3rd, 4th round guy. This isn't like a great running back class. So I'm interested in the players here who have like B vision, B break tackle. Let's check out Felix Baskerville. 225 pounds, 23 years old. Not going to have a great combine there. But as a north-south power back, there might be a little something here. How about Kelvin Greenfield here? You got A vision. Anytime the A grade is there, you got to take a look. He's a power back, 5'10", 223. But we're not finding great athletes to go with this size. Still, though, he warrants a spot on the board. Overall, I don't really see a running back here that I look at and say, yeah, that guy's a future starter. There are like a few power backs here I have on the board, but there's just not much separating them because none are great athletes. So it's like, who do you get lucky with here with the most power out of all of them? I might have some interest here in Greg McCord. He's a fullback. I mean, there are only a few fullbacks in each class, but he does have A run blocking and speed marginal to decent. I mean, it could be worse. At wide receiver, I think this is a pretty underwhelming class at the top. You notice some F grades, a lot of C's and D's. Like, this is not what you want for first round receiver talent. So I am certainly glad it's not a huge need of ours. I'm pretty underwhelmed as I just look at those top 4s. And I'm already in UDFAs, and I'm just not seeing anything great. Receiver is one spot, though, where you do need to take a little deeper look than those 4 ratings because there are just so many ratings that make up a receiver's skill set. Catching traffic, yeah, that's important. Catching, deep route running, release, all very important. But what you're going to miss there are the guys good at short, the guys good in medium route running. And with this playmaker archetype that's popping up a lot, there might be a lot of those kinds of players. So, Jalen Hale. Yeah, the combine doesn't look like it's going to be anything special. How about that short route running, though? It's a B. He could have good medium. He could have good spec catch. Like, there is some stuff here. I think he's good enough to go on the board. But, I mean, when you see players with F at multiple of these 4 key ratings, you can't spend a premium pick on that kind of skill set. Tight end, though, is where this class is supposed to be pretty strong. So let's take a look at these 4 first-round projected players. We have Seth Green, 6'4", 258. And finally, we have, an athletic profile here that would get you pretty excited. And he has A awareness, A pass block, catching traffic is good, catching is a B. Yeah, I think he is a very good prospect. And even though there's a very little chance of us taking a tight end early, I'll still put players on the board. My plans have changed many times before. Aaron McKinney. Wow, there are a couple of nice A grades here in the route running that stand out. Not as good of a run blocker, but it's clear they're leaning more in the receiving direction now with these tight ends. Dave McElroy out of Alabama. And again, good athletes. So just take tight ends instead of receivers in this class. That seems to be the way to go. Only 235 pounds here for Joe Johnson. And it looks like athletically, he's not as intriguing as the others, but not a bad athlete. The thing is, though, is I think you'd like him to be a little bit better mover if he's only 235 pounds, because you already assume there the run blocking might not be good. But, I mean, it's going to be A to C. So maybe I'm wrong there, and he's just undersized, but plays like he's 25 pounds or 30 pounds heavier. All four of these prospects seem to have, good skills for going early. Then you get the drop-off. And here's Terrell Banks. Not as good of an athlete. Not the same, dominant route runner. Now you're getting into more backup caliber tight ends quickly. A steep drop-off, and you kind of expect that. Maurice Greenwood here out of Wisconsin is 6'3", 245. And, decent speed there. Might be some receiving ability. Not much of a run blocker, though. George Ruiz. That right side looks pretty good for him and the next player. Needs to work on those concentration drops. Not a good accelerator, but has the top end speed and has some run blocking skills. Greg Crossan is next. 3rd to 4th round talent. A run block, A catching, and good to great speed, good to great strength. That's a good combination. A to B run block finesse. So that's 2 of the run block ratings that are actually meant to be good. The class seems to have some okay depth. They're not as good as the early round players, but if you end up taking one of these players, I do think there are a lot of future starters in this class. Couldn't say the same about wide receiver. I'm sure I missed some, though. I don't want to go through every player, but I do want to show how deep this tight end class looks to be. It's very good. And now we get to the offensive linemen. At left tackle, we have a fair amount, projected in the first few rounds. Nasir Jennings was at one point mocked to us, I believe. A awareness, C pass block, B to C run blocks. So he is a good athlete. He does have good awareness, good pass block finesse. I think that with this skill set, you can start him early, but he's not going to be probably a dominant rookie. He has his weaknesses here when it comes to defending power. But yeah, I'd say, back half of the first round is probably a good spot for him. Cole Harrison is next, and with those A to C's, that's where I'm okay, if I see enough of those, I really want to get the focus player thing on them, because I need to know if you're a mid-level prospect or a high-level prospect, and there's already enough A here to like. The athleticism isn't going to impress you all that much, but good enough to go on the board, I'd say. I would definitely have him more in the first round than the second. Gil Nolan. So now we go to the 2 to 3 range. We do have decent athleticism. Not seen the strongest tackles yet. He's another player where you probably need to get the focus player on. Sylvester Hazelton. Now, tackle isn't a big need for us. We can move guys around if we need to, but I'm not seeing players here who would be the best fits to move inside the guard. But I'm still doing my homework, and I like these players a lot. Not so sure about the day 3 players in this class. Let's go Jace Elfman out of Buffalo. Could you maybe find something here? He's not a great athlete. Yeah, I think there are just too many holes in his game. Staying with tackle, we'll move on to the right side where we have a few more players projected to go early. Mike Stevens is up here. 6'7", 335, that prototypical built in a lab kind of size for the position. He's a good athlete, better strength than some of these others. He has one major weakness, and that appears to be finesse. But there's a lot to like. Doug Davidson out of Texas A&M. A pass block, C run blocker. When it comes to tackle, I'm looking for good pass blocking. When it comes to guard, I don't want you to be terrible at pass blocking, but I'm looking for the run blocking more so. And here looks like if you're just looking for a pass protector, Davidson's not a bad choice. I do love that I'm seeing so many players that you could draft, and maybe they don't have the highest ceiling, but can this guy start and not get destroyed every week? You know, I think there are some good options. Again, Carlos Macklin, he's a pure pass blocker, so pass-heavy offense, good fit, but you're not running off tackle behind him. DeAndre Cousins out of Clemson. So now we go to 3rd to 4th rounders. And in this case, in the past, I'm normally just writing all these guys off. 3rd or 4th round, not going to find a starter. I think you might be able to this year. I'm not sure Cousins is it, though. What about Andrew Pemberton? He is the lowest rated draftable right tackle. B awareness, A to C pass block. Now, you don't probably go focus player on a guy like him. If it's day 3, I think you just take him and hope things bounce your way. If you catch the right side of variance here and these ratings are closer to an A or a B, you're looking at a potential day 1 starter. Maybe not high level, but a guy you can just start and you know that he's not a practice squad caliber player. So I think Pemberton easily goes on the board. Let's move inside now to left guard, where it looks to be on paper a deep class, or at least a solid one. Ronald Randall is the number 1 player out of Oklahoma. He's 338 pounds, solid to good strength. I'd really like a little bit more, you know, good to great would be ideal or better. Good pass block power, good run block and run block power. So I'd still say he's a very solid prospect. And now guard, this is his spot. Like, this is a legitimate, like, early round option for us. Tyreek Wise, good to great strength, good to great acceleration. Love that. And there are a couple things here that concern you. But there's also some good. Tyreek Wise is a perfect focus player. John McCoy is next out of Florida. And yeah, his athleticism doesn't seem to be great here. Solid to good, which is average. And then very little set in stone here that you're confident in. So I wouldn't draft him without knowing more. I like the combine here a bit on Benson. And he has a little bit of potential as well, but 3 solid C's. So with that, I'd say more 3rd round on him. Rakeem Shed out of Oregon. B-A-B-B. This is a good start. Decent to solid strength. You'd like a little bit more, but there's a lot to like here as well. Yeah, these A grades just really stand out, but it's accompanied by some D grades and A awareness. So they have really done a good job of making more players intriguing and giving players a good starting point. It's kind of up to you to develop them. But in the past, it would always feel like you'd see a lot of these linemen in this range and think, oh, he's got no chance. But I don't think that's the case in this game. Last left guard here who is draftable, Dom Brazil. The combine's not going to wow you, but I think he's worth a late round flyer, maybe 6th, 7th round. At the other guard spot, there are only a handful of draftable prospects. led by Alante Armstead here at right guard out of Florida State. And again, we're not seeing like rock solid combines here. We're not seeing that elite athlete or elite strength guy, which I would really like. Alante Armstead, more of a pass blocking guard, which is not really what I'm looking for. Good player, but I know I'm not taking him in the first couple rounds. So I'm not going to put him on the board. J.D. McGraw, B run block, A impact blocking. That decent to solid strength just keeps showing up. Better fit in the running game, and I need run blockers here at guard, and he is a 3rd to 4th round projected guy. Brad Cartwright, D run block. Mitch Batten, C to F pass block. Let's check it out, though. Good to great strength. We'll take that. But the finesse really giving him some issues. More of a backup guard then, in that case. Let's finish it off here with Zach Hawkins out of Rice. Combine not great. You got some more C's across the board. He doesn't have that one strength to lean on. And we'll wrap it all up today with center. And there is only one player projected to be drafted. And it's Dylan Bishop, who has B awareness, B run blocking. Not a great athlete. He's a day 3 guy. So the interior, I'd say, isn't really great. I don't feel like I have a lot of options to fill what I'm looking for with the right archetype at the position. So that might make it more likely we end up exploring some sort of a trade for an offensive lineman. Now, there were some left guards that I liked. I have a lot of them here on my board. But I think the one I'm most intrigued with, or one of the most intriguing, would be Tyreek Wise out of Florida. So I should rank him pretty high on the board then. But I know right away that finesse is going to hurt. Could Ronald Randall end up being the better option? You know, it's tough. They definitely make you consider a lot of players, it seems, here in this drafting. So that is a look at the offensive prospects in this class. Next episode, we will continue on and talk defensive prospects, but I can't say it's the last episode of the season because we might be playing ourselves into the playoff picture and we'll want to watch some of these games. So we will watch this Tampa game, and based on how that goes, I'll feel out how the rest of the episode should go, but we will talk defense next time. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you enjoyed the way I did this one. I feel like it was nice to get more background on some of these players and to spend an episode talking about a specific side of the ball. And then we moved to 6 and 7, so things are getting real interesting. But that's it for today. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great day.